Germany is supposed to be the strongest, safest machine in all of Europe. So why are its biggest factories going quiet? For decades, this was the country the whole world looked up to. The land of engineering, the land of luxury cars, powerful machines, and a work ethic so famous that people built jokes around it. When you thought of made in Germany, you thought of quality, you thought of strength, you thought of a country that always seemed to win no matter what happened to everyone else. But something has changed. The German economy shrank in 2023, it shrank again in 2024, and in 2025 it barely moved at all, growing just 0.2%. The factories that once roared are slowing down, the jobs that once felt safe are vanishing, and the country famous for never breaking is starting to crack. The real story here is not one bad year, one bad leader, or one war. It is something much bigger, the slow failure of the entire formula that made Germany rich in the first place. So just how bad has it gotten? Bad enough that you can see it with your own eyes. Start with Volkswagen, one of the most famous car makers on the planet. The company agreed to cut more than 35,000 jobs in Germany by the year 2030, and to shrink how many cars it builds at home. 35,000 jobs gone from a single company in a single country. Then there is ThyssenKrupp Steel, a name tied to German industry for generations. It is cutting or outsourcing around 11,000 jobs. And BASF, one of the largest chemical companies in the world, is chasing more than 2.1 billion euros in yearly cost savings, much of it tied to its operations in Europe and its giant home plant in Ludwigshafen. It gets worse. Business failures in Germany climbed to 24,064 in 2025, and the number of new homes finished fell to just 206,600, the lowest level since 2012. Picture it: quiet factory floors, empty construction sites, export charts that climb for years and then suddenly roll over and fall. Headlines about layoffs, one after another. Back in early 2025, one of Germany's most respected economic institutes described what was happening in a chilling way: that the country had entered its longest stretch of standing still since the end of World War II, the longest in nearly 80 years. So how did the country famous for engineering, exports, and discipline end up here? To understand that, you have to understand how Germany got so strong in the first place. Here's the question almost nobody asks: what was Germany's secret? Because if you understand the secret, you understand why it is now falling apart. The answer is that Germany bet everything on one thing: making stuff, real, physical products. While most rich countries moved towards services, banking, and software, Germany stayed loyal to its factories. Manufacturing makes up about 18% of Germany's economy. Across other major developed nations, the average is closer to 13%, and the single biggest thing Germany sold to the world in 2025 was cars and car parts, making up over 16% of everything it exported. So this is a country whose entire prosperity was wired directly into industry. When the factories did well, Germany did well, and for a long time, the model looked unstoppable. For 2 decades, Germany sold far more to the world than it bought back. On the surface, that looked like pure strength, but there was a hidden tension underneath. Germany looked powerful partly because it leaned on the rest of the world to buy its products instead of building up demand and investment at home. The whole machine quietly stood on 3 hidden supports. First, cheap energy that Germany imported to power its factories. Second, huge demand from foreign buyers, led by China and the United States. And third, a system at home that could keep turning industrial muscle into long-term strength. For years, all 3 held firm. Germany looked invincible, but here is the trap. The more industrial you are, the more you sell abroad, and the more energy you import, the harder you get hit when the world changes. Germany's greatest strength was also its greatest weakness, and it was about to find out the hard way. So what happens when all 3 of those supports start to break at the same time? Watch the first one fall: energy. When energy prices exploded, it was not a quick scare that passed. The costs stayed high, squeezing the money families had to spend and crushing the profits of companies. By 2023, Germany was relying on other countries for more than 66% of its energy, and the damage was massive. BASF alone said that in 1 year, higher energy costs hit its earnings by 3.2 billion euros, and around 84% of that pain came from Europe. In that moment, German industry lost one of its oldest cheat codes: cheap power. Now watch the second pillar fall: China. For years, China was Germany's best customer, buying up German cars and machines by the boatload. But China didn't stay a customer. It became a competitor. Even though China was still Germany's biggest trading partner overall in 2025, German exports to China dropped by a full 1/5 between 2021 and 2025. And here's the gut punch. German car exports to China nearly cut in half. Germany's proudest industry was getting beaten in one of its most important markets by the very country that used to buy from it. Then the third pillar cracks, the United States. America had always been a reliable place to send German goods. But after Washington put steep new taxes on imports in 2025, including on European cars, everything shifted. Germany's trade surplus with the United States fell by more than 30% in just the first 3 months of 2026. One by one, every escape route was closing. But here is the part that should truly worry anyone watching. This was not just bad luck. Analysis from Germany's own central bank found that more than 3/4 of the export ground Germany lost between 2021 and 2023 came from getting less competitive, not just from weak demand abroad. Read that again. The problem was not only the world around Germany, the problem was something weakening inside Germany itself. The machine wasn't just unlucky, the machine was breaking down. So when did the cracks first appear? Because this didn't happen overnight. This was a slow motion pileup, years in the making. Rewind to around 2018. Even back then, weak demand for cars around the world, especially in China, was already starting to hurt German automakers. The warning lights were blinking, but few people were paying attention. Then came 2022 and the war in Ukraine. That war detonated Germany's entire energy system, sending the price of power and gas through the roof almost overnight. Then 2023, the economy shrank by 0.3%. Then 2024, it shrank again by another 0.2%. Then 2025, growth crawled back, but only barely, at 0.2%. 3 brutal years stacked on top of each other. Not one single crash, but a slow, grinding pileup that nobody could stop. And the German government finally realized it had to do something drastic, which leads to one of the biggest plot twists in this entire story. In 2025, Germany did something it had refused to do for years. It broke one of its deepest, most sacred rules about borrowing money and created a massive 500 billion euro fund to rebuild the country's infrastructure and move toward cleaner energy spread over 12 years. This was huge. It was Germany finally admitting that it had skimped on investment for far too long and that the old model needed fixing. €500 billion to fix the machine. Surely that solves it, right? Here's the twist inside the twist. Having the money turned out to be the easy part. Actually spending it? That is where Germany hit a wall. On June 1st, 2026, Germany's own finance ministry admitted something stunning. By the end of April, only 28% of what was supposed to be spent in 2026 had actually gone out the door, and 2025 had fallen well short of its spending targets too. So the story flipped completely. This was no longer about a country that lacked money. This was about a country that could not move fast enough to use it. Why so slow? Because of bottlenecks buried deep inside the system. The OECD says that heavy paperwork and tangled rules are choking the ability of businesses to grow and get more done, and it goes all the way down to the local level. A 2025 study found that nearly 1 in 5 towns and cities in Germany can't even fully maintain the roads, bridges, and buildings they already have, and the backlog of needed repairs keeps getting bigger. And then there is a hidden timer ticking in the background that makes all of this so much more urgent. By 2035, 1 in 4 people in Germany will be 67 or older. At the same time, the number of working-age people is expected to shrink by somewhere between 7 and 11%. Fewer workers, more retirees, less time. This turned a bad decade into a race against the clock. But what does all of this actually mean for the people living it? Because numbers on a chart are one thing, losing your job is another. By May 2026, nearly 3 million people in Germany were registered as unemployed, with the rate sitting at 6.3% after it had climbed above 3 million just the month before. New job openings had fallen to a historic low, and from spring of 2025 into early 2026, the country was losing an average of 17,000 jobs every single month. This was the moment the slowdown stopped being a headline and started landing at people's front doors. And remember those giant companies? The ones that are part of Germany's very identity? Volkswagen shrinking its German workforce by more than 35,000 and cutting capacity by 734,000 vehicles. The ThyssenKrupp Steel slashing how much steel it makes and cutting around 11,000 jobs. BASF carving out more than 2.1 billion euros in yearly savings. These are not small, forgotten businesses. These are pieces of Germany's soul. The failures kept piling up too. Business insolvencies hit 24,000 in 2025, up from around 21,000 the year before, and not even 18,000 2 years earlier, climbing fast. And a major business group warned that if companies start seeing their future outside of Germany instead of inside it, what's at risk isn't just investment, it's the country's prosperity and stability itself, and it's spread into housing too. The value coming out of Germany's construction sector dropped again in 2025, falling for the 5th year in a row. Home building sank 18%, hitting the lowest level since 2012. So now there were 2 crises at once: factories slowing down and homes that weren't getting built, which brings us to the single most unsettling truth in this entire story. Here is what should keep anyone up at night. Germany can see the crisis coming. It can borrow €500 billion to fight it, and it can still fail, simply because it can't move fast enough. Knowing the answer means nothing if you can't act on it in time. But let's be fair, because the lazy ending here would be to declare that Germany is finished, and that is not true. The economy did grow a little, 0.3% in the final stretch of 2025, and another 0.3% in early 2026. Major forecasters still expect at least some growth ahead, pushed along by public spending and cooling inflation. Germany is not collapsing, but the recovery is fragile and it's shaky. In May 2026, that respected German institute said the economy was steadying for the time being, but warned it was still fragile. A key measure of factory health was barely hanging above the line between growth and shrinking, and a fresh business survey showed sentiment getting worse after another global shock rattled the world. Germany has not solved its problem. It has only paused the fall, so everything now comes down to a fork in the road. The world's top economic experts mostly agree on what Germany needs to do: spend its money faster, cut the red tape, boost competition, get more people into the workforce, make it easier for skilled workers to move in, and stop the rising costs of an aging population from smothering growth. It is a real, believable path forward, but it is also an admission of just how much has to change and how quickly. Germany still has world-class companies, deep pockets, brilliant engineers, and the financial room to act. What it no longer has is the luxury of standing still and hoping things fix themselves. So here is the final truth, the one that ties the whole story together. What is terrible about the German economy is not some sudden dramatic crash. It is something quieter and far more dangerous. It is the slow failure of the very model that made Germany rich: weaker competitiveness, fading demand from abroad, costlier energy, a shrinking workforce, and a government that is only just relearning how to invest in itself. And the stakes reach far beyond Germany's borders. If Germany's industrial heart weakens, Europe loses its anchor for supply chains, for clean industry, for defense, for growth itself. This is not a small local recession story. This is a test of whether the biggest industrial economy in Europe can reinvent itself before it's too late, which leaves just one question hanging in the air: can Germany build a new model before the old one decays beyond repair?